can never expect closure in my life. Are you supposed to brace yourself for that disappointment? How do you brace yourself while still living positively and not living in that fear? High standards attract fear. I secured the matcha and I actually got this really cool flavor. I think it was something around the lines of London Fog. It has Earl Grey, vanilla bean, and oh, the lights are turning off. Okay, I guess it's getting a little dark in here. It's okay. Yeah, Earl Grey, vanilla bean, delicious. Usually from Matcha Matcha. Lately, my go-to order has been the banana brulee, which I'm not even a big banana person. I don't like banana flavored things, but for some reason, the banana brulee matcha, it just hit the spot. I actually first tried a banana flavored matcha at Matcha House when they first opened in the summer. My friend Hiba, she was trying it, and I took a sip from her, and I was like, wow, this is so much better than I expected. So that's why I gave it a shot at Matcha Matcha. But now I switched it up today because I literally just had the banana one yesterday, and I would honestly really recommend this London Fog. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, with the Earl Grey. Personally, I love teas, I love chai, so I love that mixed with matcha. It's just the perfect combination. Mm. Anyways, what are we yapping about today? I was just reading my book, as you saw, and of course it's romance fantasy, but I don't know if these representations of love, I don't know if they're very realistic. I consider reading romance and fantasy as a guilty pleasure because do I really benefit from it? No, it's purely entertainment. But there's a lot of lessons and deeper connections I've made with different characters in the stories that do actually kind of make me reflect about myself and my own life and my own type of avoidant issues that I'm seeing in other characters and that I'm relating and empathizing with. And then also just seeing what I want in a partner as well, like seeing how these characters, how they interact and how the woman is being treated and just the acts that are coming from her lover. Oh shoot. It's actually just making my standards higher basically. Because why is the main character, the main male lead in this book, why is he so emotionally intelligent? Why does he literally selflessly love his partner? And his intention is never to control her. It's never to, want to have this power over her, like how a lot of female male and marriages just end up. It's the harsh reality at the end of the day. Like, men do want control a lot of the time. And I'm not saying, hey guys, you're interrupting me. I think they're done. What was I even saying? Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to be negative about this. I honestly just don't have a good or the best view on marriage. It's not something that I really saw as a positive thing growing up. And so, as I'm entering my 20s and I myself am looking to get married sometime soon, inshallah, there's just so many questions that are coming into my mind. Questions like, are my standards too high? Am I looking for too much? Do I need to settle? But then also at the same time, if I don't settle and I do find this person that meets all my expectations, do I need to expect disappointment in the end? And in me expecting that disappointment, is that me manifesting a poor outcome, a bad outcome? Is that me living in a mindset of fear instead of abundance? So it's like, where is the line between having precautions and standards and living in this fear that manifests bad outcomes? Because maybe if I didn't have all of this fear and precautions and this guard up, then maybe that would be an example of living in abundance and not fearing the worst outcome, not fearing being disappointed. But then at the same time, I feel like disappointment is just something you can never escape as a human. You're always going to get disappointed by somebody at the end of the day, right? So it's like, are you supposed to brace yourself for that disappointment? Or how do you brace yourself while still living positively and not living in that fear of that future moment, because we know that moment's going to come. We don't know what the circumstance is going to be. We don't know who it's going to be with. We don't know the details of it, right? Only God knows. But we know that we're going to get disappointed. Hardship and ease, hardship and ease, hardship and ease. We'll never just be steady. Coming out of that shell of having your guard up, of living in scarcity and just fear and guarded, because how are you supposed to attract what you want if you're so guarded, right? Where do you find the balance in between the two? That's kind of where I'm at. And I think being in your 20s, when so many new life stages are coming your way and you're closing old chapters, you're writing new chapters, you're really discovering who you are and also who you want to be, right? So it's a very confusing time. I guess I'm just going to kind of answer this question as I'm posing the question. But like I said earlier, there's that piece of disappointment that's inevitable, but you don't want to live in that mindset of expecting the disappointment. However, I think I fall into that. I fall into that. And if you're kind of avoidant like me, I recognized I have an avoidant attachment style towards so many things in my life. If you're so avoidant, that's you trying to protect yourself from that disappointment that you know is going to come. However, that's a horrible mindset and state of mind to live in. And I'm still in that phase, right? I'm trying to get out of it. I mean, at least I recognize the first step. But I'm telling you honestly, I don't know the answer. I don't know how to get out of this frame of mind. But I wrote something down in my notes that I feel like maybe kind of connects a little bit. And it was this. Learning to live without closure. My life has taught me to just always get over it. Like I can never expect closure in my life. And so what you can take from that is that's kind of uncomfortable, right? We want closure for our comfort, for our ease. But that piece of discomfort is just something you have to learn to live with. Like that's what I've had to do throughout my life. I've had to learn to live with that discomfort of not having an understanding of why something happened, of why someone treated me a certain way. You just have to get over it essentially and move on. And yes, it's not fair, but again, it just kind of reiterates the fact that life is not fair and life is not meant to be comfortable. And God didn't put us through this test of life to be comfortable, right? At the end of the day, it's a test. So I guess going back to the whole thing about being guarded, you have to just live in that discomfort. Having all of these standards, I don't want to say standards, I think more having your guard up and being so precautious. Is that even a word? Precautious? I don't remember the word, but if you're always like pre planning for hard times or for disasters, that is you just feeding into that comfort, the comfort that's not going to help you grow. So, constantly just pre planning things, having your guard up, being this avoidant and having all these avoidant mechanisms, trying to prepare yourself or prevent discomfort from happening. That's you staying in your little comfort bubble, and that's not going to help you grow. I'm literally talking to myself right now. Oh my God. I didn't realize this until I literally just said it to you. Like, we're learning at the same time here. I need to be more uncomfortable, as if I'm not already going through constant discomfort. I need to do it more. We just need to be more uncomfortable, because keeping ourselves in this bubble where we're just so cautious and we are avoiding worst case scenarios and we are thinking about those worst case scenarios and like going out of our way to think about these negative situations that are what if scenarios. They're not in our life right now, those scenarios, right? So why are we so caught up on that fear of getting disappointed and that fear of those scenarios? What if we're actually manifesting that to happen? Astaghfirullah, like, God forbid. God forbid. It is so hard. It's so hard because, like, on one end, we have these high standards and high expectations for our life. And on the other end, we have this fear that someone's going to come and just bulldoze through and ruin the life plans that we have. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to counter argue against that fear. You've had hard experiences before, right? You've had points where you thought it was kind of the end and that your life was at rock bottom. So if you've come out of those situations and you were less equipped back then because you've gone through so many things since then and you've gained strength, you've gained skills, you've gained insight and wisdom, then you know that now, the person that you are now, who has been shaped by all these past experiences, you'll be able to take on whatever God tests you with. So why be scared? Why be scared if you know you've done it before, you know you can do it again? Because now at this point, you actually are even more equipped to take on whatever is put on your path, right? So like this fear is just unnecessary and it's unproductive. And it's probably manifesting bad outcomes to happen for you. Your energy is probably in this negative or like scarce place. And why would we want to live in that? And I feel like I know I did a video on that whole abundance and scarcity mindset, and it's been in my mind ever since. And I've realized there's so many areas in my life where I am living in a mindset of scarcity. I don't even want to begin to say it, but it's hard. Like it's easy to recognize. It's not even easy to recognize, but once you do recognize, it's like, how do you change what you've believed about life and about yourself for so long? For your whole life, you've believed for this to be true, and you've held this like very boxed mindset. So, how do you just change that? And I think in your 20s, like that's when you are given the opportunity. It's like now your choice. You have that free will, you have that control. You're no longer just guided by your parents for every little thing. And so you have to actually take control of your mind, and you have to remove all of those bias, like all the dust. I think it was Jay Shetty. He gave this analogy of a mirror in his Think Like a Monk book. He gave the analogy of a mirror, and you are the mirror, okay? And throughout your life, your parents, your peers, society, they tell you like how to believe, how to think, what to do with your life, and that's like dust that starts to cover your mirror, right? And so when it gets to a point where you don't even know who you are, you can't see through that mirror because that mirror is covered in the dust of what everyone has told you to believe about yourself and about the world. So you have to dust off the mirror. And it's not as easy as just dusting off a mirror. But I like that metaphor because that's the truth. You have to dust off that mirror to see who you truly are and to reach your true self. And to reach your true self is to get your dream life. Those two are connected because you go through so many experiences in life where it's just like teaching you fear, teaching you negativity, teaching you not to be yourself. And it disconnects you from your true self. So that's why you have to take that control back and you have to dust off your mirror. Dust off your mirror. High standards attract fear. That's the truth. I'm a high standard girly myself. I run a very strict program. But, I'm starting to think, I'm starting to ponder, and like, where do these high standards really come from? Are all of them truly productive and going to help me attain what I want to attain? Sit with yourself and sit with me. I'm going to sit with myself right now and get to the bottom of this. Because, yes, it is very empowering to have high standards. It makes me feel good to know that I don't just give up or give in, and that I know my worth and I value myself, and that my actions and my mindset, they are on the same page, and they show well, like they exhibit my values. While that I do like about having high standards, at the same time, I just wonder when I'm thinking about what I want in a man, for example, when I think about trying to find a husband, well, not trying to find a husband, the husband's gonna come to me, I don't chase, I attract. But on a real note, like, obviously, I'm 20. I'm gonna be getting married soon, God willing. And it's just like, some people praise me for my high standards. Some people tell me that I can't be too picky. So it's like, what is right? I don't know. I'm figuring it out. You're figuring it out. We're all figuring it out. And at the end of the day, it's like, I don't really want to take advice from people whose life I wouldn't really want to switch positions with. Or if I've seen certain people put themselves in certain situations, I'm not really going to trust your advice on standards. Not in a disrespectful way. Just, I don't know, where's the validity? Where's the reliability? Because to me, I'm a very evidence-based person. Like, unless you have some evidence for me, I don't know if I'm going to believe you too much. Yeah, so I was just starting to like think, are all of my standards really important? And like, how are you supposed to really have one person hit all your standards? It's a little bit unrealistic. Just a little. Like, I want to experience a fairy tale romance. That's the problem. And that's why I put all these high standards in place, because I want exactly what I want. And I'm stubborn in the fact that I want to achieve exactly what I want to achieve, or not necessarily exactly, but I just want success in the form that it's meant for me. So I will do what I have to, you know? I'll do what I have to. And if that means having these high standards and pushing out these men out of my way and pushing out just these things that are not benefiting my life, not even just when it comes to men, just in general, I'm quick to detach. I very easily detach because I recognize if something is not contributing to my alignment, cut. It's easy for me. It is very easy for me. It doesn't matter how much of a history I have with the scenario, with the person, with whatever it is, I can cut people off like this. And that is probably my avoidance. Like, that's a skill that I've gained from my avoidance. And I mean, I like that. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel in control. Oh, shoot. Oh, so this is a control thing. It's coming out. It's coming out. I'm learning something. Okay, so I want control, basically. I guess that's what it is. I want control. Yeah, that's what it is. I want control so that I don't face the disappointment and so that I can have the outcome that I want. That's it. I'm going to talk more about this in the next episode with my friend Mia about how media and like romance movies and rom-coms and all of that plays into those standards, and do they give us an unrealistic idea of love? Yeah, probably. We'll talk about that later, though. But that's kind of the idea that I'm hinting at here, is that growing up watching these Bollywood movies, these romance movies, all these Disney movies, you always get the happy ending. And so obviously I want that for myself. But I think as a Muslim, you have to be like so trusting in your Lord that you know if you're not getting it in this life, you'll get what you deserve in the afterlife. If you don't get love in this life, if love is not written for you in this life, you'll get it in the afterlife. You know, you'll get whatever you need, whatever is like meant to make you feel fulfilled, you'll get that as long as you do good. As long as you do good. So I think that's why having a strong faith and just submitting yourself to God and to worshiping Him is, at the end of the day, the solution to everything. It's the solution to this avoidance that I'm having. It's the solution to this need for control. I have to give that up for God. And I haven't given it all up. I can say I have, but my actions, my mindset, my guard is proof that I have not given up that need for control. I haven't given it all to God. So I guess that's my next step. That's what I'm learning from this. I need to really fully submit myself to my Lord and put my trust in Him. Because even if He gives me hardship, you know, even if I get that inevitable disappointment in the end, God wrote that for me. And I can't argue with God. I really can't. And His plan, His everything He's putting me through has purpose. So, like, who cares? Who cares if you get the disappointment in the end? God wrote that for you. That was your fate, and you can pray to Him and change what happens to you tomorrow, right? But whatever happens, happens. At the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. So we shouldn't dwell. We shouldn't dwell on this fear, and we shouldn't dwell on outcomes. We shouldn't dwell on this fear of disappointment because it's holding us back spiritually. It's holding us back from alignment, and it's keeping us in this boxed up mindset. That's the conclusion. Wow, I just came to a great conclusion for myself, and I hope for you too. Oh my god. Wait, this is making my avoidance worse because now I just realized, like, I'm my own therapist. I don't need to talk to no one. I just solved my own problem. I'm a little crazy. So, from one avoidant girly to another, let's just surrender to God's plan. Let's have trust in God, and let's be strong in ourselves, right? Build ourselves and build our spirituality. But let's not dwell on disappointment. Let's not dwell on future disappointment that's not come to us, because you're just going to attract that disappointment if that's all you're thinking about. And wait, actually, you might not even be thinking about it though. That's the thing. You're probably not thinking about the disappointment, but your mindset is subconscious. That disappointment fear, it's actually subconscious, and it's then translating into your actions and how you interpret the world and how you react to the world. So you are actually reacting to the world with that fear without realizing. Because I didn't realize that this was a problem until recently. I didn't realize that me not liking disappointment and staying in my comfort zone to avoid that disappointment and that discomfort, I didn't realize that was an issue because that's just how I've always been. That's always been my internal disposition and how I accepted things and reacted to things. So you're not going to overtly display this, you know? Everything crazy is subconscious. Get to the crazy, okay? Get to the crazy, girl. That was a really good talk. I hope you benefited. I know I just benefit from that. Like, that was an open journal. That was an open journal sesh. I love you guys, and we're gonna talk soon. I hope this didn't trigger you too much. I hope this didn't send you into a spiral, but if it did, may that spiral be beneficial for you. And may you come out with this new, fresh mindset, okay? And this matcha was so good. Thank you, God. Bye.